The Southern Resident Orca, a natural icon of the Pacific Northwest. A whale that calls the Puget Sound area its home on a year-round basis. However, over the past several decades, the numbers of these beautiful marine mammals have been declining at an alarming rate. So alarming that Washington Governor Jay Inslee recently signed an executive order creating a task force that would look into trying to save these animals from extinction.
At the rate things are going, the reproduction will probably end within about 20 years, and that's basically over. They're long-lived animals. You may see some southern resident killer whales 50 years from now, because there's some young ones that could live their lifetime of average 50 years, 54, but reproduction has already ended, basically, and we're looking at just a few individual whales that might produce offspring to allow for future generations, but it's not happening.
Ken Balcom, founder and principal investigator for the Center for Whale Research, is one of dozens of experts, tribal members, and local leaders who are part of the Southern Orca Task Force set up by Governor Jay Inslee in an effort to sustain the population of southern resident orcas remaining in Puget Sound and the Salish Sea.
Well, the task force, of course, is a large body of individuals that represent a number of the wide varying interests in the state of Washington that are concerned about the long-term health of the orcas. And when the governor developed the executive order, he wanted to bring everyone to the table that had diverse points of view to develop strategies to get at the main issues and the challenges that face the orcas, and to make some recommendations as to how to address those challenges.
Currently, there are only 74 southern resident killer whales. During September of 2018, one disappeared and is presumed dead. The root of the problem is the food chain and the challenges that face its survival.
But our challenges are that we don't have a lot of time in which to work to save the orca. So coming up with the best science-based recommendations that are going to make a difference both in the immediate and long term to recover and save these orca is a big challenge.
This problem isn't a new one. Since the study began over 40 years ago, there's been a steady decline in population and a change in the overall behavior of these whales.
When we began this study in 1976, the whales were in the Salish Sea area, generally around the San Juan archipelago, from May to September, almost every day. And twice a month they went to Puget Sound, down by Seattle. They went to Seafair every August, when they had thousands of boats and lots of fish.
And while the task force looks at the food chain, which is the key issue surrounding these marine mammals, they're also looking into human activity, which remains the main reason for the rapidly declining supply of food needed for the survival of these whales.
Building dams, logging, agriculture, the whole ecosystem was degraded for the salmon.
As the task force looks to find ways to save the orcas, it's also important to note this group is very aware that ultimately it's not just whales' well-being that's at stake here.
And we're dealing with a biological reality for both salmon and whales, and ultimately for people. So this process is necessary to get everybody together on the same page politically.
You can learn more about the Southern Resident Orca and the overall health of Puget Sound by watching a special edition of Northwest Now on November 9th at 7:30 p.m. called Shorelines of Stone. That'll do it for this edition of Northwest Now Digital First. Reporting from Tacoma's Rushton Way waterfront, I'm Chris Anderson. Thanks for watching.